My name is Michelle Cook, and I am looking forward to sharing with you my journey of writing the book Happy to Be. See you at the live stream.
I am so excited to present this particular book today and to present the author, Michelle Cook. She's a wonderful woman and a dear friend of mine who has worked really hard and relentlessly to make sure that you have one of the best products put out possible for you and your young ones. So let's welcome Michelle Cook to the live stream, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her and what she's all about. Good
Hello.
greetings. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am absolutely fabulous and looking so forward to you sharing all these wonderful things about your book. And I love your background, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's just some of my little work corner here in the Dominican. So my art products and supplies, and that's it.
Well, it looks fantastic. Now, wait a minute. You just mentioned the Dominican. What's going on with that?
So I live between Canada and the Dominican Republic. I do mission work down here in Puerto Plata and Sosua. And so I split my time between here and back home in Halliburton, Ontario.
Very nice. Okay, so that gives you a lot of freedom to be able to do your thing with the books, right?
It does.
Okay, now I got an opportunity after speaking with you about a month ago or so, a couple weeks ago, about your book and about what's going on with that. I was really super excited that you have the type of heart that you want to do something for children, and that it was totally you. From
Yes.
what you mentioned, you didn't use ChatGPT, you didn't use a bunch of AI tools.
No.
Well, in a world of technology, what made you decide not to use those type of tools for this particular book?
So I'm very old school myself. I'm very wary of technology. It's not that I don't like it. I do love my phone and my laptop and all those accessible products that are out there. But when it comes to art and creativity, I think that should belong to people. And as a person who's creative, I would like to use my creativity to push that forward. So I wanted to paint all my own paintings. I wanted to write the script myself, to write the story. There was I had to go into the dictionary and look for words on what rhymed and what didn't, and pictures of animals to make sure that I wasn't drawing anything too crazy. But for the most part, everything was me.
So the bear on the beginning, on the cover, you drew that yourself?
Mm-hmm. I drew that myself. Yeah. Yep. All the paintings are hand sketched, watercolor paintings, and then just scanned on through with the scanner and uploaded onto the program to launch it onto Amazon KDP.
The entire book?
The entire book. All the paintings are hand painted, watercolors, hand sketched, starts in pencil, ends in paint.
Well, it looks absolutely amazing. And I love the fact that it's so natural, because it gives a sense of just some feeling like it's real.
Yeah.
Feeling like it, not feeling like, well, she just threw something on there and, to
Yeah.
go ahead. And so I love the fact that it looks like that. It's very natural. And I think, have you had a chance to see this read to young people yet?
I have not. No, not yet. A couple of my friends and family members have sent me pictures of them with the book with their children, but I haven't heard them read it to their children yet. So, but hopefully one day I'll get to hear it read out loud.
That sounds great, because I know that you know a lot of children, and children just love you, and you have a large opportunity to do that. The one thing I noticed when I was reading through the book, and I was so happy to receive it and look forward to getting it, is that you mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to read just this one little line in here. I'm not going to read everything, because you guys, for those of you who are listening, you've got to get this book. It says, "Can you help wake her up?" And then it also says something else. And that brings the reader in. Was that intentional?
100% intentional. As a kid, I loved books as a kid. My mom would buy a ton of Robert Munsch books. I love Robert Munsch even to this day. And so his books were quite interactive. And when you read them out loud, you felt like you were part of the story. So as a reader who is becoming a writer, it was like, okay, this is what I want to have happen. I want there to be action and movement and things that they can participate in and feel drawn into the story and even act out.
Okay, because it definitely brought me in. I'm like, oh, can I help the bee? That's so cute. It's like I'm like, I'm not going to tell my age, but I'm kind of up there. It made me feel like a child again, just reading the book and looking at the characters. How did you come up with those particular characters, and how did you come up with the names for those characters?
So the first character is obviously Josie, and she came up when I was first starting to get involved in watercolor. So I've always been an artistic person, even from childhood. I loved arts, crafts. So, but as an adult, I discovered watercolor is a medium that I love the most. And so I was just practicing different paintings and painted a bumblebee on a flower and thought, oh, that's a story. What story I didn't know, but I was like, there's a story there. And so in the process of time, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this story, and it's going to be about a bumblebee, and I'm going to name her. And then I came up with Josie, and Brian is named after my brother, Brian. I have a twin brother. And so it's Brian the bear is named after my brother. And
that's so sweet.
And then just, Robin, obviously for being a Robin, and Robert the frog, just because to me, it was like Robert Ribbit. It works.
I love that, Robert Ribbit. Love it. How did the support come naturally? Did you have to go out and just make people bang them over the head support you, or how did that come about?
No, I have a very, very good support group in my life. I'm very fortunate, very blessed. So any of my friends and family that I told, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing, they were like, do it. Don't wait. Just do it. You've got nothing to lose. You're artistic. You're creative. You've got nothing to lose. So the support was immediate. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. It's good to have that type of background, and you kind of feel that in your story. Now, did you have any, with this age as well, has been happening for years, decades, even centuries, with bullies going around? Because I noticed it shows the actual support that the bumblebee has and the friends have, and I think that's important for children that
100%.
are reading this book. So for those of you who are watching this, whether live or on the replay, consider taking a serious look at this book and getting it for your schools, your preschools, your child facilities, because this does show how friends support each other and how important it is. And it gives a good ending. I can't tell the ending, but it gives a great ending. Did you ever have any bullying situations that you were growing up?
Oh, for sure. 100%. Yeah. I grew up in a small town, and kids, we say, kids will be kids, but it's just, that's the nature of humanity, that we find things to dislike about each other and how we can bring other people down so that we can feel good about ourselves. And so that's a hard lesson to face, but it's formative. So you learn who you want to be, who you don't want to be, and how to treat people in the way that you want to be treated as well. So bullying, unfortunately, I think bullying has touched every single person in their life. And so to learn how to not fall to that, to try to not be cruel when you don't have to be, to find something good in people instead of finding the bad. It's easy to find the bad, but it's also easy to find the good too. So
yes, it is. That's why I try to look at. I know when I go out, a lot of people will ask me, they'll ask me, why are you so happy today? And I'm like, am I happy? It's like, if you just knew what was going on in my life.
Okay.
But when you have that spirit and you have a greater power and you have something that pulls you along to help you to feel and understand that everything's okay and that we're not in control, that's huge. You shared with me your path and a turning point in your life, because most good, successful authors, they have stories to share. And it's the same with most public speakers. I remember someone asked me once when I was up in stage speaking to a couple hundred people, and they said, you know what? You have some stories. And I'm like, if you only knew. So would you share, if you don't mind?
No, not at all.
Could you please share with our viewers your journey and your turning point in your life that's made you who you are and starting to have the success that you're having?
Sure. So I grew up in a small town, and I was a very shy kid. like walked with my head to the ground, looked at my feet when I walked, didn't eye contact, not my strong suit at all, but was also very creative at the same time. I could play by myself, no problem, crafts, loved it, but very, very shy. And so as a teenager, that did have, a hard time making some friends, but thankfully, God was very kind to me. I had a good friend who led me to God. I became a Christian at 16 years old. I was not looking for God. I did not want him. And my friend, I was at her church for service, and she asked if she could pray for me. And I was like, sure, why not? I've got nothing to lose. And in that experience, as she prayed for me, she prayed that I would come to know God and that I would see him as real and know his love for me. And in that moment, I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And so receiving that at 16 years old was no small thing, because who I was as a teenager was becoming very, very stoic, very aggressive, very downcast, very depressed. And that changed the trajectory of my life. So as a Christian, growing up in my teenage years and then into my adulthood, how that changed who I was going to be was massive. I was not shy anymore. This is out of my comfort zone, but I'm doing it. So it's like, there's things that where God pushes me out of my comfort zone and says, no, you can do this. I want you to try something different. And so I go, okay, let's see how it goes.
Well, you're doing amazing. Amazing. Because sometimes when you know that you should be doing something and he's pushing you forward, and you don't follow that, you end up like in a belly of a whale.
Yeah. In a funk
of nature. Yeah. So where are you going with this? Is this your Happy to Be? Is this your one book, one stop, one hit wonder? Or
I absolutely hope not. I do have some ideas for that. It could be a series. So I do have some ideas bouncing around in my head on how I can continue with the Happy to Be series. But right now I have an idea for a different book, for another children's book that I'm just starting to work on. I've got the plot in my head. I have a couple of characters ready to go. It's just seeing how to progress it next. So I hopefully within the next couple of months, I'll get all of that started. Hopefully within 6 months, I can have the book ready to go. Because once again, I do the writing myself. I want to do the art. I want to do all of it myself. I want to do the artwork. Of course, have friends read it and critique it, and that kind of feedback is absolutely helpful. But I do have an idea for a next book, but it's completely different than Happy to Be. It's a different book all in its own.
Okay, in doing this, because you've been staying away from the technological resources that a lot of people are using today, how do you plan on going forward and not being used? What if it starts to blow up? What if it starts to have a huge demand? How are you going to not?
I don't know. I'm probably going to need to get some help from people who know how to do those things, because I am weak in technology. You give me a piece of paper, you give me a pencil, you give me some art, I can make, I can draw, I can have fun, but you sit me in front of a computer and I have to remember to breathe. So even uploading this book onto, because all of this is done through Amazon KDP, which is a great platform, using that, learning how to use that platform, how to upload my book, get it to the right size, get the pages how I want it. That was a definite learning curve for me. But hopefully now, having gone through it once, I'll be able to be more comfortable the next time doing that. But if this explodes, I'm probably going to need some help.
Right. Thank you for sharing what you just went through with the process, because a lot of people think that it's just as simple as, well, anybody can write a book. You just get a piece of paper and a pencil and just write, and it just goes. And there is a process to it.
There is a process, for sure.
How page sizes,
page sizes, font, your bleeds, your margins, all of that. And so that was a learning curve, because how I originally pictured the book it was a different size. And then because Amazon KDP has certain formatting sizes, that had to be altered, which was easy to do. But, you know, my brain went, but I want it in this size.
Okay.
But I had to roll with the boundaries that were set before me with launching on Amazon. So.
And you did a great job with that as well. It made me go immediately to one of the pages in the book where I love this particular page.
Yeah,
it says,
show it. Feel free to show it.
Oh, are you sure? Because I don't want to
show it.
Much. Okay, this page right here.
Yeah,
I thought it was
that page.
Yes, right. It just took me by. I mean, just really drew me in because the way that you did the font, something as simple as changing the font up, it's like it made you feel like you're doing this, and then you change the font of this, and I'm doing that, and this, and that, and then boom,
the action of it, and you can, because like the one line it says shake, and you just want to like scream it and shake. And
exactly.
That was the animation that I wanted to bring forth into the page.
And that's exactly what came across. So fantastic. Kudos to you. Fantastic job for doing that, guys. This is the book right here. You've got to follow Josie the Bumblebee. It's just wonderful. The artwork is just amazing. Love the way that it's put together, and it just is heartfelt. Yes. Are you going to get into doing short stories, videos, films, animations?
I would like to. One of my friends here, she's very much encouraged me to do some of those things. That those are things that I would be able to do. Possibly even like one example that she had was like, you know, you could read the book and upload it onto YouTube, because she has 2 little girls who are gorgeous and I love them. And what she does is she will play on YouTube books, and the girls get to sit and have this book read. And she's like, that is something that you could do. So there are lots of revenues and different ways that this could unfold in different accessibility. So we'll see where those go. This is very new for me. This is my first book ever written, stepping into the technology platform. So we will see where it goes, but absolutely there's definite room for growth and expansion.
That is awesome, because I see a whole lot going on with this in the future. Okay, so right now, your goal is what? What's your primary goal with this particular book?
With Happy to Be, or the next book? Sorry.
Happy to Be.
My goal is for it to make it into the homes of families. Obviously, I love the story that it depicts, because it talks about our identity and who we are in God and how God sees us. And I think with how we feel about ourselves, even as an adult, sometimes how I feel about myself, it's nice to be reminded how God sees me and how God loves me. And he made me different. He made us each to be different. And there's a line in the book that talks about that, where God says, I made you to be you and no one else. And I made your friends to be themselves. And I think that message is very vital, because so many times we put ourselves in competition against each other, or we think I'm not good enough, or I'm not ready, nobody's going to like me. And it's just, you know, if we can see who we are first and see how God sees us, and then we can learn how to see each other, then, you know, I think that's a good message to get across to kids today, and to adults too.
I think that's a huge message. And I think you actually say something like that at the end of your book. Mm-hmm. I made you to be you and no one else. And there's just so much on this particular page. Just the way you start out, the way you finish it. You know, there are the 2 paragraphs, but these 2 paragraphs are full. And guys, I'm sorry for those of you watching. I just refuse to actually tell you what these paragraphs say. But
you're gonna have to buy the book.
Right. And it is so worth it. I am so glad to have this book. If I, as an adult, so often, even adults don't realize things that happen in their childhood make a huge impact on who they are as an adult.
Yeah.
I know adults that are still 50 and 60 and 70 years old that are just now realizing certain things that they do act, and certain of their successes and failures as well came from what happened as a child and stayed in the mind and didn't even know it.
Yeah. 100%.
Exactly. Like you, I was very shy as a child.
Yeah. And here we are.
I know, right? Right.
Who knew?
Right. And no one, please, like I said about you, you can't convince me that you were shy, you know?
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah, was.
So
Likewise.
right. And had I understood, as much as my parents tried, bless their heart, they always did their best to try to make me feel special.
Yeah.
But as a child, I listened to I call them the demonic voices, the demons.
Yeah.
I listened to them telling me that I was ugly, that I was fat, that I was stupid, that I was four-eyed, that,
Unfortunately.
yeah, all those things. And
Yeah.
they stayed with me. It took a lot for that to eventually leave. And it didn't actually leave till I was in my 30s. And
Yeah.
I didn't have books like this. I had fun books. Like I can tell you every Dr. Seuss book that's ever written, you know, as far as things like that would have stuck with me and said, you are unique.
Yeah.
You
And
are,
you're precious.
you're precious. You're special. When you talk about the spiritual side of things,
Mhm.
you know, when I started understanding you are a holy priesthood, a royal nation, that people belong to God, somebody's called you out of darkness. When you understand those things, it makes a difference. And you do this without Bible banging, as people say it.
Yes.
You do this in a way that tells every child you are worth something. So again, kudos to you for this book. I think you're a fantastic author. I wish you a lot of successes. What would you like to, first, also, how do they get in touch with you?
Oh, so perfect. If people want to get in touch with me, I think the easiest would be through my Instagram platform. It's Feroz Traveler. I haven't started a page yet for my art. Hopefully I'll do that in the next little bit. But if we start with Feroz Traveler on Instagram, that would be great. It's open to the public. If anybody has any questions, feel free to DM me. I will answer them as best as I can. And hopefully that will help people.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's a total honor and privilege to have you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Michelle Cook, and I am looking forward to sharing with you my journey of writing the book Happy to Be. See you at the live stream.